Welcome to Bandit's Keep Actual Play. I'm Daniel. Well, we're continuing our expedition with the foxes into their kind of mini mega dungeon, if you will. They have defeated bandits and they have come across a group of goblins. A lot of goblins.
Oof. Goblins. Attack is heavy foot. Heavy foot versus armored, 1 die per 2 men. So again, we're going to have 4 dice. Any 6s are going to be hits. Okay? Let's just start there. Round 1, goblins attack. Okay, no hits. Also, once the, we'll say it'll take 2 rounds for the halfling to do what I said. And then after they spike that door, they're going to take the place from the cleric, because the cleric has a better chance of dying than the halfling, and the cleric has that healing spell. So we're going to reform after 2 rounds of combat. So this is round 1 right now. Goblins miss. We are fighting against Lightfoot, and we're all Heavyfoot. So again, heavy versus light. 1 die per man, 5 or 6 hits. So dwarf number 1. That would be a 5, so that's 1 goblin. Dwarf number 2. Misses completely. Cleric. Misses. Elves in the back. 1 hit. So 2 goblins go down that round. And that's the first round of spiking the door. Round 2. Goblins attack. No hits. First dwarf kills 1 goblin. Second dwarf, nothing. Actually, I can do this because the cleric and the magic users all are the same. 3 dice and they each get a +1. 1, 2 kills. So 5 goblins have gone down so far. There is a total of 50 goblins in this room. So they will make their first check when 13 goblins have gone down. So that was round 2 of combat. So round 3, and then the halfling will be able to switch. No hits from the goblins. Dwarf. With the +1, he kills a goblin. Dwarf. 1 goblin. Cleric and the 2 magic users. 1 goblin. 3 more goblins go down that round. Now the halfling switches. Okay. They are like the dwarf. So, dwarf number 1 kills 2. Dwarf number 2 kills 1. Halfling kills none. 2 elves kill none. Goblins. Nothing. Okay, so now I'm going to, between each round, I'm going to make a roll on a 1, 2, or a 3. The goblins have circled around to that door, and then they'll try to start knocking it down. Okay, they haven't yet. Goblins attack. Ooh. 1, 2 hits. Okay. That's not good, because that will, in fact, kill one of the people in the front. Except we have a cleric, so we'll talk about that in a second. So that's that. Now, next, but of course, again, we still get to go. So first dwarf kills 1. Second dwarf kills 2, so that's 3 total. Halfling kills 1 more, that's 4 total. And the 2 elves kill 1 more, so that's 5 total. All right, so far we've killed 11. Now, as I said, one of these 3 go down. So let's see. I'm going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's the first dwarf. First of all, he's 2 + 1 hit die, so he gets a saving throw. If he gets a 6 on this die, he's fine. He's not. But our cleric has 1 Cure Wounds spell. The way the Cure Wounds spell works is now he drops, but on this next turn, they're going to cast the spell. And when they do, he comes right back up because it takes away 1 hit. So basically, if he only got hit twice, right? So remove one of those hits, he only get hit once, so that he's actually fine. So that's going to happen this turn, though, so he won't get to attack. So this turn back, the goblins are attacking again. Miss. First dwarf's on the ground, so second dwarf. Misses. Maybe he's sad about his friend. Halfling. Misses. All right, 2 elves. With a +1, they kill 1 more goblin. That's 12. If they get 1 more goblin down, they have to make a morale check. Cleric casts spell. Dwarf comes back up. So again, I know I talk really fast. So the way the cure spell works, in fact, let me read it for you. Because this is the first time I think a cleric's going to cast a spell in this actual play. So let's actually get into this spell because there's been some questions about cleric spells. Okay. Cur Wounds. Cure Light Wounds. The cleric calls down the power of their deity to restore the vigor to an ally. To heal the physical cuts and bruises rendered during detailed combat, the cleric must pray over the recipient for 24 hours, which time the injured creature is completely healed. Okay, but that's for detailed. The prayer can be made during abstract combat, negating a single hit, or during fantasy combat to immediately restore 1 hit die. So, in other words, they can just do it's almost, you might consider it like a reaction, if you will. As long as they haven't gone, which they haven't, because there was no reactions in OD&D. That's why they were staying back. They actually, it's not like the next round they did it immediately, so I should have given that as reward for another attack. Rereading my own spell, which actually kills 1 more goblin, which is 13. Okay, 13 goblins have gone down. Let's do one thing. Did goblins circle around? They have not. So remaining in the room, because there was 50 goblins remaining, we've killed 13, so that's 25% of them. So we need to make a morale check. Goblins are, now of course, they are, oh, by the way, there's also some elite goblins in here, which I was going to keep things simple, I'm just going to have them fight at the end. They're the last ones to survive kind of deal. But because they're elite goblins, they actually get a +1 to the morale. So they're going to actually roll 2d6. They're trying to beat a 7. They get +1 to the roll. 7 + 1 is 8. They beat it, so they are not going to surrender. These goblins are going to fight on until they lose. They lose 25% of the people, which would be, I'm sorry, 50%, which would be 25. So if the 12 more of them die and the party's still here fighting, then they'll give up. So next round of combat. And now our cleric has used their healing spell. Goblins attack. No hits. First dwarf attacks. No hits. Second dwarf attacks. 1 hit. Halfling attacks. With the +1, that means 2 hits. Okay, that's 21 of them down. Did I add that up wrong before? No, I guess not. 2 elves. They get 1 hit. Okay. Goblins attack again. Not enough. Did any circle around? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to roll the number of goblins that circled around. 6 of them. Okay. So I'm going to roll 6d6. And if any of them are a 1, the door is going to be pushed open. And then we're going to be fighting on 2 fronts, which is not good. Yes. All right. Next, at the end of this turn, they're going to bust this door open. So there are 6 goblins out there. Oof. All right. This is not good. Of course, we hear that it's been slamming on the door. So the party is going to reform to defend that door. So they're going to actually move back here. So we have 2 plate armor characters in the front. And this one elf is going to attack this way, and this one elf is going to attack that way. So next round, goblins that are inside the room attack. Hold on, did they already attack? Well, doesn't matter. I rolled it again. Oh my God. Okay. That is not good. Because what that means is they've got 4 kills, and we've got 2 guys with 2 each. That means they're both dead, but they're going to get death saves. They'll go to attack first, though. This other door is busting open. I mean, I guess this is what happens when you fight 50 goblins. You can't expect nothing to happen. Whew. All right, here we go. Hopefully this is going to end the combat, though, anyways. Dwarf before he dies in the front. That does nothing. Second dwarf before he dies. Kills one. Elf. Ah, missed. Nothing. Okay, that's not enough to make them surrender. Okay, so here we go. First dwarf, did they make, on the top, did they make their death save? No. Second dwarf, did they make their death save? No. Okay, both of these dwarfs are killed. Oh man, this is not great. Okay. Can they... And this door is supposed to be bust open this turn. We're about to get overwhelmed by goblins unless... Because they're standing in the back. So they're not actually engaged in the melee. I'm going to roll initiative. If they win the initiative, the party, this elf is going to get off their sleep spell. If not... Actually, you know what? I don't think that would work. So I think what we're going to have to do is... Oof, this is terrible. I think we're going to have to risk it and sacrifice an elf. Well, they're not in the melee. Yeah, I'm gonna allow it. If they win, all right, so let's do this first. If they win the initiative, they'll be able to do it. If not, then I have another way they could possibly do it, but it's going to probably make them die. Now I roll 2 6s. Let's roll that again. Party wins initiative, they can do it. They cast a sleep spell, taking out 6 more goblins, which actually drops them below the number that they'll fail their morale. But simultaneously, this door busts open, and I'm going to allow that to happen. So there's 6 goblins out there. They're going to get to roll 3 dice against these guys. They get no hits. These guys are going to get to fight back. The halfling kills 2. The cleric and the magic user kill 1 more. So 3 of those 6 go down, which again is 50%. So they actually retreat back, and I'd say they're probably going to run. Some of these other ones, because they're failing the morale, they're just going to pour out this door, and like, you know, they're basically leaving because the party won the combat. So, oof. They take a second to catch their breath, and they come into the room and close this door and spike it. They run up and close this door and spike it, and we lost 2 dwarves. That's bad. However, in this room are 2 gems worth 10 gold pieces, 2 gems worth 1,000 gold pieces each, and a piece of jewelry worth 1,100. So that's a pretty good haul that we've got from this dungeon. We got more from the bandits with less damage. So I think what we're going to do here is... Well, no matter what, we're going to leave. I don't think we're going to be able to pay for, unfortunately, a raised dead. This is the bummer of these things sometimes when they're at low level. They can't pull it off like those other guys did. So what we're going to do is, they are going to try to take the bodies. Now, we've already decided that this is actually not a side entrance, but rather an entrance to another level, or a sub-level, which is basically where the kobolds are going to be, since we've found the goblins and the bandits lair. So that's basically a kobold lair down there, which we may or may not care about. That means that somewhere around here, probably here, there's a passageway down to the next level, which we're going to have to discover. So we can't worry about that right now, though. So what we're going to do is try to get out of here. We're going to be encumbered. Well, actually, we're going to take a minute. Let's see. Is it going to be a wandering monster? No. We're going to strip the dwarfs out of their armor, because it's not magic armor or anything. That way we won't be super overly encumbered. And we're going to basically, with these 2 guys in their heavy armor leading the way, and our 2 elves carrying their fallen comrades, we're going to get out of here as quickly as possible. So what I'm going to do is just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 1 turn. So that's turn 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's turn 6. So at turn 6, I'm going to be fighting now with the penalty. One man down because we didn't rest. But I think we'll rest. We'll rest here. Actually, we rested there. That's what we're going to do. Start over. So it's going to do 1 turn, 2 turns. So there's 1 wandering monster check here. And there is going to be a wandering monster. Okay, what's it going to be? Could be some, there's still goblins left. So there could be some of them coming back. And there's also bandits. So I'm going to just roll regularly. 6. Okay, giant centipedes. All right, we see some giant centipedes. Again, there's like going to be 2 of them. Or, yeah, there's 2 of them. That's just not even worth fighting. We don't have to worry about that combat. We're just gonna avoid them. If we do giant centipedes, we just run past them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're gonna get to here. That's turn 3. Is there gonna be anything in turn 4? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Okay, that's turn 4. Turn 5. Okay. So turn 6, which is when they're supposed to rest. I'm just gonna, this is it. I'm gonna roll Wandering Monster right now. No. Okay. So they sit here and catch their breath for a minute with their comrades. They're not even gonna bother to go back and get that silver. They realize there's gotta be some other secret passage somewhere. And, oh no, we know to the next level. But for now, they just need to get out of here. So they retreat out. Oof. All right, well. They've got their buddies. They're going to get a good burial for them. Sadly, they're not high enough level that they can have the money to... Actually, I might be wrong about that. I'll have to check the price on that again. I actually remember it not being that expensive to do a raised dead. You know what? I'll check on it. Okay, so it'll be 4,500 gold pieces to get a raised dead. We might actually have enough here because when we add up what we got from this... Do a little quick math here. Okay, doing some quick math, it looks like we're going to haul out of here 9,150 gold pieces. Now, half of that has to go to the patron to, because they get half the treasure. We could have tried to do some role-playing and negotiate, worst case scenario, to take less of a cut to save the guys. But with 4,500, that will pay for 1, and they have in their coffers, because of that bandit camp raid, they've got 6,500. So they actually have almost 11,000 gold pieces, or will have that. They'll spend the vast majority of it, but, that's what adventurers do for each other. So we know that's going to get handled, but before I do any of that, let's make one more wandering monster check. When they're heading back, do they encounter anything else that will give them harm? A 5 or a 6 means they do. They do not. Okay, so on April 21st, the party made their first delve into this dungeon. I think what I'm going to do, because this did create a nice little situation here, I was going to do a 3-level dungeon, if you will, but I think what I'll do instead is I'll say there's different entrances to the dungeons. So this is kind of like, they got in on this entrance, I'm going to start from scratch and just make the next one a level 2 dungeon rather than trying to create some kind of pathway down that doesn't exist. They may just ignore the kobolds for now because the kobolds don't have much treasure. And they know that. I mean, kobolds are not known for having a lot of treasure. So I think that's what we're going to do. So we'll deal with that. But the 2 dwarves need to rest for 2 weeks. They can't adventure anyways once they're raised up. So we've got at least a couple of weeks before we can go back into the dungeon, whether we go to level 2 or hit those kobolds up. We'll see.
If you've been enjoying these actual plays, and I hope you have, please do take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all the good YouTube stuff. If you check the description below, you'll see links to most of the stuff I use here. If there's something I'm using that you have a question about, please do ask. I'll try to put a link. Also, check out a link to my Discord server, join the conversation over there, and my Patreon if you want to support the channel. I'll talk to you soon.